This is the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, the rocks falling. Yeah.
Like
Do you do you think those little catapult things would take down a
yeah,
whole mountainside? Like, why would they
it's
build
like
a Eregion next to these mountains that could so easily be avalanched like this?
what are they made out of, limestone? I mean, this is so stupid.
They're made out of soapstone.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
mean,
I
just
mean,
looks,
it's
they're
like
made out of talcum powder.
right, and
Look
it's
at
like the
that.
whole thing comes down.
Look at that. It's what the hell? And then, like you see these giant towers of rock, right? And they're supposed to land in the river and let the orcs cross.
No, 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 no. They're drying up the river. They're drying up the river so they can cross the river, which makes
Right.
no sense
Right.
because
Because the
it's
water would just go around it.
it would go around it. But have you ever like flooded your yard on accident and then tried to like dig a hole?
Right.
Dude, it's wet for like 4 days and we're in the middle of the desert. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right.
you
Yeah.
don't
Do you think those siege engines would be able to get across a muddy riverbed?
right? Siege engines being pushed by like two orcs on each side. I mean, it's
Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, this war in Ukraine, like every single time it rains, like they can't move any of the tanks. Like in the
right.
rainy season, like those tanks are just sitting there in the mud, and it's like those siege engines are built, not like tanks. They just like have
They're
these like bare, yeah, just there's no way they'd be able to go through the mud.
right,
Yeah.
but the fact that three like there's because I counted them, it's not like a whole gang of orcs. It's like two orcs on each
Hmm.
wheel,
Yeah.
and there's like four wheels, and then maybe a guy in the middle or whatever. I mean, again, I might be, like my count
Right.
might be
Right. Right.
off a
Right.
little
Right.
bit, but it's like, have you guys ever pushed, like, have you ever picked up a piece of plywood by yourself? I mean,
But you're
those
right.
are
I mean,
heavy, man.
because they hardly even saw what the orcs were doing, shooting these missiles, these catapult projectiles into the mountain. And when they first saw that, they're like, "Prepare for ground invasion." And it's like, wait, so not only is this water going to be this prepare for ground invasion, it's like the water's going to be displaced, all and it rerouted, and the whole thing's going to be flooded. And how long would it take for I mean, assuming they completely dam that river, how long would it take for the water on the non-dammed side river to flow downstream, level down, empty out, and become crossable without being a muddy mess? It's like it's just going to be a muddy mess. There's no way that they could do a ground invasion through such a terrain like anytime soon. Maybe after
Right,
months.
right. But again, so like, where did the water go? It's like, oh, we're gonna make a lake here. It's like, no, it would fill up in kind of, like. Have you ever like again? Have you ever tried to seal a leak and like with rocks or like create your own dam as a kid? You can't do it
Right.
because water goes where like
Yeah, no, like
where the
I've done that
cracks are.
I've done that a million times as a kid. You find a little creek. Hey, let's build a dam. You like set up all these rocks. The water's just going to go past it. But even if you are amazing and you build this enormous, colossal rock dam, the water on the if you you build it this way, the water's going this way. The water on this side of your dam it's not going to just instantly disappear.
Yeah, it's not
Going
just
to take
going to make
forever to
it
go
like,
down.
oh,
It'll be like, okay, I'm going to leak out of this area, and it's going to take a while.
And speaking of the siege of the city, Eregion, it's this huge, sprawled out, like towers everywhere. So I mean,
Like
that's
New
like
York
another
City.
thing.
It's like the
Yeah.
Elven New York City.
Again, which makes no sense to me because why would you build towers? Like, I mean, I understand why you build towers, but there has to be a reason, unless unless everybody's like, oh, this elf needs to contemplate stuff. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. Maybe
I
it's just
needed
me.
power. I'm going to go contemplate.
Yeah,
No,
it's like
unlike Minas Tirith, which has like concentric circles and rings and battlements that look very impenetrable. Like Eregion has these low outer walls and then all these towers like New York City. It's like, okay, so if I was a guy with some catapults, I'd definitely take some aims at this place. It would fall in, those towers would fall in a minute, and they do. So you'd think, well,
right.
why did they build it like that?
But does it make any sense so that they would just build towers anyway? I mean,
right.
again, I like it just
Yeah,
It looks elvish because they, cop the architecture from the Lord
Rivendell.
of the Rings.
It seems like elves, being part of nature, they tend to build into the landscape. Like Rivendell is this secluded place that almost like disguised itself in its little snug hollow.
Yeah, yeah.
They can kind of hide in Lothlorien, and they live in
Because
these flats. They basically live in the trees, amid the trees. It's like they're not going to build these skyscrapers out of stone. Same with the elves of Mirkwood. Like they live in the natural environment. They're not
yeah,
building like
yeah.
skyscrapers. So it just seems very non-elvish to have like
So
an urban
again,
cityscape.
you'd figure that these people these race of elves that can build these skyscrapers wouldn't have a problem building the forge. You have to call but they had to call the dwarves. It just, like I
Yeah,
said, nothing about this makes any sense. It's all surface stuff. But anyway,
yeah. You scratch the surface, and it just falls apart.